Broncos beat the Chiefs? How do the Broncos get over on Carson Wentz? How do the Broncos not fall into what I believe is kind of human nature of like, oh, it's not the good team over there. We can gear down a little bit. How do they avoid all of those things and win this game?
Yeah, how do they avoid it? Is they know they haven't yet made it where they want to go. And the desire for this team to get to 10 wins is something that's been very evident in the locker room this entire week. They're talking about 10. They're talking about 10. And then it's knowing who they are. When you know who you are, you know what you expect. And when you know what you expect, you know what you have to do. They have to win this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, like, let's just tie, let's just wait, and, oh, we got another week. You have no more weeks. You have no more scheduled games after the one on Sunday. Mm-hmm. This team knows full on well that they've been they've been aiming for 10 wins. They also know that they are a playoff team. They are a playoff caliber team. And in this league, it's no longer parity. It's not a bunch of, like, average teams and a couple of great ones. There's still a couple great ones, but there's like the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
The Broncos are clearly on the have side, and they know that. Mm-hmm. So because they know that, it's time to prepare for the postseason, which you cannot do until you win this game.
100%, man. And I go back to what we've talked about over the last couple of weeks with how they win this game. By the way, one of our texters just writes, the Broncos win if Carson Wentz plays. So they're confident about this game.
Okay.
I am confident as well. I believe in Bo, obviously, as we've talked about. I believe in the current state of the roster. They have to get better, and they will get better. But right now, the current state is good enough to win this football game. My questions are all about the coaches, and on both sides. I have questions about Vance Joseph as a defensive coordinator right now. I have questions about Sean Payton as the play caller right now. Now, VJ, it'll be second week back with Riley Moss. Really intrigued to see how he handles what they show. Are they just going to go back and playing man all the time? Because that's what worked for the first 3 months of the season, 4 months of the season. Then Riley goes down and you have to change your tune, and it's been bad since then. Really curious to see how Vance approaches that. And then with Sean Payton. I mean, man, the formula here isn't crazy. We've been saying it all year. It's actually pretty simple. You run the football, you run the football a little bit more, and then you set up Bo to take shots via play action over the top in the second half because you have committed to running the football. That's the easy game plan. The question is now, does Sean execute said easy game plan, or does he try to get too cute? Does he let his ego get in his way? All of the things we've seen Sean do in the last 2 weeks.
Which was who had the easy button? Was it Staples or
Staples? I think
Office
it was. Office Depot,
something? Yeah, Best Buy, something. Circuit
I worked
City.
at Office Depot once. Like helped them build a new store.
Okay.
Up in Thornton, actually.
Okay.
It's terrible every time I had to go there. And then they're like, some of you are going to get hired on to stay when the store opens, and some of you are just hired to build the store.
And
I didn't make it the cut.
You didn't make the cut.
Just built the store. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they hit that button and sent me out.
The easy button was get rid of that guy. Well, the easy button, and Marvin Mims talked about it yesterday. When I asked him about becoming best friends with Bo Nix, he's like, whatever we have to do to make it easier for Bo. Why does Sean make it harder?
That's a great question, Cecil.
I mean, isn't that the answer? How did they beat the Chiefs? What's going on with the Chiefs? Week 18. Yeah, make it easier for Bo. Not because Bo needs it easier, but because that means you're doing a better job. You're running the ball. Wouldn't running the ball make it easier? If Bo Nix threw it 20 times, right? 20 times. Mm-hmm. And they ran it 37 times. Wouldn't that make it easier?
Sure would.
Right. So why does all the other players, everyone on the roster knows we got to do what we can, make it easier for Bo. Why does Sean then make it harder by not running the ball or going away from the run game when it is working?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. It's a very great question. Creaky writes, Sean Payton goes into the running back room and says, bleep you, bleep you, bleep you.
You're
Javonte,
cool.
You're cool. I'm out.
It's like Scarface, still waiting on that heifer, Julio.
Great text from Creaky right there. So, yeah, my questions are much more about the coaches than the players.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can think about going into this game. Will Sean screw this up? I hate to say it like that, but that's how I feel. Like, is Sean going to screw this up? And is VJ going to get back to doing what works, what he knows worked with this defense? And I get it. You had to make a bit of an adjustment with Riley Moss. And I love how you wrote about it at denversports.com last week. Rusty Riley didn't lead to VJ having all of the options at his fingertips.
Right.
Well, here we are now, going to be 8 days later. How much healthier is Riley, and how much more can Vance do with his Riley Moss?
Yeah, how much more can VJ do to cover up the warts? He talked about it. It's tough to play football in December. Well, it's January, girl. What about now? Is it tough now? Did you figure out those warts yet? Did you get a little makeup? Did you use that Instagram filter? These things are dangerous, man.
Yeah, they are.
You don't look anything like that.
Right.
It's like I feel that way about credentials sometimes when we see our buddies and their badge will be like a picture from the 80s. Like, you don't look anything like that, brah. Come on. Come on.
You don't even have hair anymore, let alone that color of hair.
It's the Instagram filter. Did Vance Joseph figure out how to use that and to cover up the warts? We all know where your warts are. We all know it's inside linebacker. We all know it's Justin Strnad.
Yep.
Sorry. When you're watching the game broadcast on Amazon and the AI is predicting the weak spot of the defense and it's got a circle above number 40, like, that's not being cruel. That's just being real. And the truth isn't meant to make you feel good. They're getting by with a special teamer on defense in Justin Strnad, but they are barely getting by, if even that.
Well, and if you're Andy Reid, and you've said this over and over, who do you run right at? Where's 40? Let me identify. Carson Wentz, your job is to identify where 40 is, and that's where you put the football, either by handing it off to the running back, he gets to the second level at 40, or your tight end or slot guy is going to run that drag crossing route right in front of him.
Well,
and he has to chase.
The thing is, like, don't ever think that without their starters, they don't have talent. Noah Gray is a player. It should be Kev's favorite player, although you like Duke basketball, not Duke football.
They have a football team?
So maybe
that's the right answer.
That's a good answer, Kevin Kister. But Noah Gray is their backup tight end. That guy could have a good game against you because of Justin Strnad. Like, that could happen. So, we're thinking, how do the Broncos win? They play Carson Wentz. Yeah. You might not be saying that on Monday.
No.
Like, I have confidence in the Denver Broncos, but I don't have hubris in terms of, like, they got this. No, they don't. Because they should have had it against the Chargers and they should have had it against the Bengals, and now you better have it against the Chiefs or else this season's over.
Well, I'll agree with you on that. This team has not earned the benefit of the doubt like that. Have they over-exceeded my personal expectations? 100%. You kind of had them in this wheelhouse of competing for a playoff spot, but I did not, and I can't give them just simple benefit of the doubt. I know you're not going to do that. This is still an Andy Reid coach team. This is still a guy in Carson Wentz that won a game last year in this same situation for the Los Angeles Rams at the time.
Right.
You mentioned a Noah Gray. It won't be Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Chris Jones, but there'll still be plenty of players out there that can hurt you if you sleep on them. And that's, like I said, Andy Reid, as many questions as I have about what Sean and VJ will do, I'm nervous because I know what Andy Reid is going to do. He's not taking this week off. He's not throwing out some vanilla game plan.
Right.
He's doing this thing to win the game and knock a division rival out of the postseason.
And they would love that. Think about if we're doing Kansas City radio. One, we're much larger.
Yeah.
Two, in terms of size. Sorry, KC fans. Don't get personal. But the other thing is we're talking about how, whatever, it's a rookie quarterback and their defense is collapsed. They don't run the ball. Marvin Mims is something, but, okay, Cortland. But again, do it from the reverse point of view where we're Kansas City and we're talking about this game. Yeah, Carson can go out there and win. Yeah, really excited about Noah Gray this week. You know what? Carson Steele, their running back, might actually do some good things, right? Steele. Got to get Hollywood Brown ready for the postseason. The way they're, by the way, Jalen Watson and, Washington State fans notwithstanding, like, that's a good corner that just got activated off IR. They might play him to get him ready for the postseason.
Just get football reps.
Their next game is what, January 18th?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So they just activated Jalen Watson off IR today. Very talented cornerback. Wanted the Broncos to get him a couple years ago, but had to have, Montreal Washington, who the Chiefs cut last week, by the way, because, he's real good. But, like, if you're Kansas City, you're not thinking this is an easy game, but you definitely think you can win this one with your backups. You bet not overlook this team.
No, absolutely not. When it comes to the Broncos running back room, is Javonte the odd man out again? No carries last week. Did get some snaps. And remember what Mike told us yesterday. Mike Kliss, our Broncos insider from 9 News, said Jalil's the number one carry back, but Javonte will be the number one snaps back. So he's going to be on the field more than any other back. For what? That's just pass blocking? So that answer from Mike says Sean trusts nobody else in pass blocking, and it also tells me he doesn't trust Bo enough to get rid of the football, although he's shown us that's like his specialty.
Well, you know what else he's shown us? Javante's on the field. He's not running it. They're going to throw.
No, so there's the tell right there.
That's a total tell. It's a 1,000% tell if Javante's on the field because he's probably not going to get a carry. If he does, who cares? Can you stop Javante Williams? Yeah, we got it. It's going to be a pass. They're going to pass pro and look out for a 3-man route tree. You know what I mean? That's what – it's a total tell. When Estime's on the field, it's not a pass. They're going to run,
Right.
and that's it. Jalil's a little bit different, although when Jalil's on the field, you know what the tell is? He's getting the ball.
Yeah. They're trying to break the edge or they're going to dump it off to him.
You now have 3 different backs with 3 different tells and 3 different ways to predict what you do. So people say, oh, they got a bit better on third downs. They got to move the chains. Yeah. It's hard to do that when the other team knows what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, they're screaming out, 38, 38. Is that his number? I think that's
38, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be interesting again to see. I want more Audric Estime. We've been screaming that now for 2 weeks because he's been good. He's taking care of the football. That seems to be in the past. So Estime, Jalil, that's the running back duo we want to see here on the show. Other side of this, the defensive side. Jonathan Cooper, he can join Nick Benito as a double-digit sack player with just a half a sack. That'll get him to 10. Zach Allen, he had it last week, and then it was taken off the board because of penalties. He's only a sack and a half away, which is certainly within reach for a guy like Zach Allen. Great question. Should be an all-pro. Doesn't he still have the most pressures on a quarterback, most quarterback hits in the league? So we could end this game, if all things go right, with the Broncos punching their playoff ticket with a win over the Chiefs, rocking their throwback jerseys, doing it at Mile High where the South stands are going freaking insane, and you could have a 1,000-yard receiver because Cortland Sutton can get there, only needs 17 yards to do that, 82 yards to get his bonus, 17 yards to get to 1,000. So at the end of this game, you could be going to the playoffs, you could have a 1,000-yard receiver, you could have 3 double-digit sack players, and as I mentioned, you're going to the postseason in Bo Nix's rookie year.
Wow.
Pretty damn good thing to accomplish after one season.
Yeah, that's an excellent thing to accomplish, and you got to get there. I'm honestly, I'm sick of they got to get their conversation. It's been 3 weeks. You're going to have 3 opportunities where not you got to win, and then Miami's got to lose, and then the Colts got to whatever, and then here's Cincinnati. None of that. None of that. In football, what do football players always say? Control what you can control. Mm-hmm. You can control this. Wait a second. Control what you can control, and you're not controlling this? What's the matter, Sean Payton? What's the matter, Vance Joseph? You guys are in charge of this, and I personally am sick of throwing in the caveat of like, well, they got to make it first.
This should already be done.
It should be done. You should be playing Zach Wilson for half this game, and you should be, getting ready for Buffalo. Mm-hmm. This should be as meaningless of a game for the Chiefs as it is for the Broncos.
You're right.
It should be that if you had taken care of business against the Chargers or the Bengals. Mm-hmm. You've had multiple shots at this, and if this kind of collapse, and I don't even like this conversation. I don't like anything except Broncos are going to the playoffs. That should be the conversation because they've had 9 wins since December 15th.
That's nuts.
I heard our buddy Will Peterson say that last night on Denver Sports Tonight. They've had 9 wins for a month. We're about 10 days away from that, but still, 20 days. Mm-hmm. For 20 days, you've had 9 wins, been on the verge of the postseason.
Yep.
Why are we talking about you still got to get in? It's on you, Sean. Mm-hmm. It's on you, Vance.
Be
right. Better.
You're right about that. With the Broncos and Bo Nix, we've talked a ton about Bo is this guy. Bo's Drew Brees. Bo can be this guy. You've talked about Jared Goff before. I'm actually going to have to look at his numbers from a rookie year. I went back and did this because I thought last night, Bo's played 16 games. Obviously, the NFL is now 17, but these guys that we talk about when they were rookies, they were all 16-game seasons. So I wanted to compare Bo to Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, and I threw in Russell Wilson just because we obviously have the tie to Russ. Drew Brees, it wasn't his rookie year because he sat his first year and then got 16 games in his second year, which is what I'm going off of. He was 8-8. Well, Bo's going to be better than that because he's already got the 9 wins. He threw for 3,200 yards, 60% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Bo's better than that right now.
Yeah.
Bo's got 3,400 yards, 65% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. So he's better than Drew Brees. Matt Ryan, I don't really have to rattle off the numbers, but Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, better than them in a rookie season. And Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan both had talent around them in their rookie season. And it was actually very similar to Russ's season. Russ had a few more yards, but touchdowns and interceptions are pretty much on par.
Yeah, and I've got Jared Goff's first full season, 15 games, not 16, 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 INTs.
That's pretty much spot on.
They're about the
same. A few more yards, and a few less interceptions.
Right. So they're about the same as that Jared Goff situation. So Bo's already there. We've already got that answer. You're ahead of the game. We all wanted at the end of this year, and we had said it, maybe because we've been downtrodden with this franchise for so long, like, all I want is to know if Bo Nix is the guy. We already know that.
Yep.
Next. It's like watching a TV show and you're like, okay, I predict this scene. I'm anxious to hear where you're at with The Sopranos, but it's like there's certain shows, and The Sopranos wasn't necessarily one of those, but like there's certain shows you watch, you're like, okay, I know this. Walking Dead, hey, Entourage, can't do the movie. Vince can do the movie. Like it's all this. It's the same damn thing. It's the same thing every time.
It is.
Like we've had this Groundhog's Day with the Broncos. Enough, buddy. Enough. I don't need to wake up and hit the alarm clock and be like, are they in the playoffs yet? Get to the damn playoffs. And we know Bo Nix is the guy. We already know that. And if you're still denying that, I don't even care. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Zach said something yesterday that I was like, I got to start applying this to the Bo Nix thing. He was using Nikola Jokic as the example.
Sure.
Of like, now it's a IQ test. When you say things bad about Bo, it's an IQ test, and you're showing us that you're failing at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So go take your IQ test.
Yeah, right.
Here's your sign. Here's your sign, Bo Nix haters. Yeah, here's your sign, because that's all you got. And at the end of the day, we're ahead of what we needed to know. Now it's time to make a run, and now it's time to learn. There's nothing better than experience. Kev, I want you to get up on that electric bull, and I want you to ride. I want you to get thrown at Grizzly Rose. I want you to show all them ladies, all them cowgirls, like, I did it. But you're going to learn. Next time you get on that electric bull, you're going to ride that thing, right? And then them ladies are going to be like, oh, I need some of that in my life, right? But it's the experience.
We hope.
You don't experience that unless you experience that. Is this prophetic enough for everybody? You don't experience something without actually doing it. I don't want to talk about, and they almost made the playoffs, and this year they'll make the playoffs. You're a year behind then.
Mm-hmm.
You're a year ahead right now with Bo Nix. He's already the guy. Sean Payton's the guy. Stop enough with this stuff. Anything else besides that? It's the combination. It's the fit. It always has been. Now go win so that you're in, so that Bo can learn, and that Bo will be better next year because he learned in an actual playoff game.
And see, that's my thought process of this is just like, hey, the timeline has been accelerated now because of Bo.
Yep.
So let's continue this accelerated timeline. Let's not fall back and get into, well, he's a rookie, all the things you were just saying. I'm 100% with you on this, Cease. It's an accelerated timeline, and let's keep it as such so that our expectations can be raised for 2025. Instead of in 2025, oh, they're going to flirt with the postseason. They might get in and have a chance to go shock somebody. That's right now. You might have a chance to go shock Buffalo. Right? Playing with house money, all the stuff you said yesterday. I don't want to do this dance next year. Next year, my expectations are this is a playoff team.
Yes.
This is a team that wins a wild card game.
Yes.
And then it's open to anybody after that because what this defense is, what I believe Bo will be in the second year, what I believe they're going to do with their free agency money in the draft, all of those things. The accelerated timeline, I don't want us to take a step back. I want to keep this thing on the current pace that it is, and that's next year, there are real playoff expectations. This is all house money. I'll be disappointed if they lose this game. But you go to Buffalo and get your butt kicked, I'm all right with that. There's some real-life game experience there that's going to pay dividends to Bo and these Broncos as soon as next year.
It's not a simulation.
No.
It's not a simulation. I will be disappointed if you don't check it out on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. And Denver Sports bringing lots of great stuff to you here on our YouTube channel. But take care of business, man. Enough. It's time to win.
All right, quickly.